So missing one. So now, yes, you are live. Oh, a little bit of delay. Actually, friend, I'm going to enlist you to do something for me. Just behind on the side here, there's two sliders. Yeah, can you slide those down? Down. There we go.
Sorry, I'm just gonna sneak by you. Thanks for the applause. That was so nice. Is the sound okay for everybody? Good? Okay. Thank you all for coming to our first in-person launch since the pandemic. Sarah and my name is Hannah, and we are so grateful that you're here tonight. We started the zine in 2017, really started working on it in 2016, and we've been able to keep going, and it seems to just be growing, and looking at all of your faces today. It's heartwarming and lovely to see the community that has been built around the zine, and a lot of it is because of all of you that have written for us. You've illustrated something, you just come out to support, bought some zines, and with the above. It's all because of you, so thank you so much.
I'm going to start with a land acknowledgement. Fields has and continues to be created on the land of Furqan, which is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the peoples. And we acknowledge the authentic history of Turtle Island and the caretakers of this land for the last 16,000 years. I also think that when we talk about reconciliation, we do land acknowledgements. It's important that we recognize the history of the nations that have existed on this land, which does include genocide, violence, but also include resilience and resistance and art and people, as well as many languages, cultures, and histories. My personal commitment to reconciliation is to listen more than speak, while also using my voice both professionally and personally to lift up Indigenous voices, artists, and businesses. So thank you for being on this land, and I do think that reconciliation is the responsibility of all settlers on this land. So thank you for being here, and we hope that you take the commitment to reconciliation seriously.
Acceptance. That's what we're here to talk about and celebrate today. A new issue just came out today. Just picked it up from the printer 2 hours ago. So we just wanted to give you a little sense of where we were coming from with this piece and what our readers and illustrators and artists responded to when we put the call. Just to kind of start the night off. Welcome to issue 20. If you've reached this milestone, we're so happy to have you on this journey with us. Acceptance has, as it turns out, been very complicated and vast to encapsulate in a small space that is this issue. Of ourselves, of others, of the world around us, acceptance is a moving target. Get personal.
Acceptance is hard. It's not something I'm the greatest at when it comes to a lot of things. I think maybe that's because we get taught that acceptance is a finish line, that once we cross the line, we're done. In a lot of ways, acceptance of myself and the things that scare me most is a daily process of working through all of the feelings that make acceptance hard. Shame, fear, helplessness, change, love, and time. I think the thing I've learned the most this year is that there is no acceptance without self-compassion, and that is a journey, not a destination.
When I think of acceptance as a word, it sounds passive, something with inaction, accepting our fate, accepting things as they are, accepting what cannot change. It can feel like defeat, like giving up, like not pushing hard enough. I've also come to the realization that I'm rarely happy with what is. I'm usually striving for something different, for more, for better, for that extra thing. There's got to be more than this. Acceptance feels like a reaction to life, to something that's yet unmet. I lay back, I throw in the towel, I stamp the word down, which means it's the end of the journey. Yet, acceptance can be the most beautiful act. We can accept others and ourselves, which is truly one of the most powerful things we can do as a human being. It's strange how a word can feel both confining and expansive. That's the beauty of emotions, I guess. One day we're flatlining and another we're soaring. So we hope that this issue and tonight as a whole brings you connections, ideas, perspectives, and peace. One more little piece, our mission statement, acceptance. There is a peace and a calm in letting go and allowing ourselves to sink into a place of embracing things as they are. Acceptance can be a hard one, as we learn to accept ourselves, our surroundings, and the things we cannot change. How does it feel to reach a place of apathy, acknowledgement, or contentment? How does this impact our perspective? In this issue, we explore how to get to a place of peace, the journey to get there, and how the experience can reflect inward. So, one note before we jump in tonight. Some pieces, because we're talking about feelings and emotions, some of them can get a little deep. So we've asked our performers to give a trigger warning for their pieces in case of something that might be troubling. Please feel free, if that category or topic feels a little rough for you, feel free to get up, step outside, step over to the room. We want you to take care of yourself. We won't take offense if you need to step away. If the storyteller has asked you to do video, you may, but please don't. Otherwise, just because we're in a little sticky bubble here. Just one note too: washrooms are right there. Doors are over there. And what else do we have up here? Our performers tonight are going to be digging into some ugly pieces, some emotional pieces, some vulnerable stuff for sure. So please keep a warm space, an open heart, open mind, and give them lots of love because they're all great. So thank you so much, and we're going to start off tonight with Sarah. Peace.
Feels okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So as Amber mentioned, this is not only the launch of our 20th issue, which is the launch in 3.5 years. Because we haven't been able to all gather together, along with a lot of really great folks in this issue, we also invited people that had contributed, some from the very beginning of this journey with us, some along the way, a lot of folks that contributed during the pandemic. That didn't have the opportunity to share their stories in person. So it's not just going to be stories about acceptance, it's going to be stories from a multitude of topics that we've covered over the last 3.5 years, even beyond that. There is some new and original work that you'll hear tonight. So I'm actually going to be sharing a piece from one of the first issues that we released during the pandemic. I recognize that most of the people in this room don't know me, so you're going to have a little bit of a history lesson about me. We had our last in-person launch 3.5 years ago, and 3.75 years ago, I moved out of Ontario. I live in Alberta now. I moved right before the pandemic, so it was really tough. And I actually think this piece that I'm going to share with you tonight is a really sweet piece about the people that make me feel accepted, especially when I was feeling very isolated in the pandemic in a new place 3,000 kilometers from home. I was kind of reflecting on the people that made me feel really safe, and those kind of little moments. I think sometimes when we think about my feelings, we think of these really big moments, but that's not really what relationships are like. They tend to be more of the little moments that make up your relationships with people. So this piece is from our friendship issue. It's called These Women I Know. It's kind of an amalgam of really rough women in my life that I kind of like. It's an amalgam of the women, but also it kind of makes up who I am. So I'm going to share that. And some of these women are actually very right now. It makes me feel really warm and fuzzy to be back. I just got in this morning, so it's really nice to be back in my hometown, sharing a story about women that I met in my hometown. It's really sweet for me. And then I'm going to jump into the rest of our storytellers. We're actually here today. So thank you for your time. Again, this is called These Women I Know. She makes a hum squeal when she squeezes me tight and knows not to let go. She sneezes the way I imagine a mouse would sneeze. You might sneeze. Sometimes she talks through her laughter. She sings badly and dances very badly to pop songs in grocery stores. When she finishes a story, she sighs and smiles as if on cue. I can't remember not knowing her, and that makes me feel calm. I keep reminding her that she needs more rest. That one's you. Sometimes I forget to say I love you, and it stays with me. I am her ladybird, and I really, really need her. Our soundtrack is the low voices of true crime podcast narrators, or RuPaul, or Dolly Parton, or the Pudding Pedal. We try and fail not to cry when we say goodbye. We navigate time zones and talk about our cats and dogs and work. We cook dinner and laze silently and take pictures of the sunrise. We drink pints and yell about politics and Timothy Chuck. We are together on the Great Road, or FaceTime, or the shore of Lake Chang, or the 502 streetcar we found. She is the greatest adventurer and travel partner. She has the most infectious laugh and smile and warmth. When she talks about how she feels, I am amazed by the courage in her honesty. She's fiercely independent, and she doesn't need you. She chooses you. She's hilarious and indecisive, and she moves like a cartoon. Our ritual is searching for the pickle, or popsicle and grape soda sangria, or just letting you know I made a mistake, or Shimon Sundays. This is everything I need. This is everything there is. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and without further ado, ACC.
How y'all doing tonight? On a rainy night? Okay, so my name is Chan-Choong. I perform at JTC. Find me on all my handles and stuff, JAYSE. So acceptance to me has a lot to do with my history and my background. So as a vaccinated person in so many different ways. So my dad's Guyanese, my mom's Jamaican, I'm born here. I'm trying to figure out what it means to be here, while also trying to understand the history of there. And they've never taken us there. But yet they raised us in a household that was fundamentally Caribbean. So like, what does that actually mean? And then navigate the world, not looking like the previous notion of what a Caribbean looks like. You're trying to explain to everybody, like, well, this is what it means to be multi-ethnic. And so to navigate that through your entire life is really, and coming to terms with that is really what acceptance means to me. And that led me to this piece called Hyphen. Walking the edges of a hyphen, I'm walking the edges of a hyphen between places, sleeping forward with a ladder, not even pictures who I was, who I am, but complicated those who never had to find interest in this world. When only passions to safety is the hyphen. The hyphen changed us to a vantage point that we never wanted, giving us unknown names, posting unwarranted conversations and questions separated in this hyphen. Hyphens represent additions of culture to nationality, but on its own, subtracts our people from yours. I don't know how to feel about the hyphen anymore. It's a dash on a highway leading to home or somewhere new. Towing the hyphen like a tightrope walker, balancing life in the final destination. Not being what it was with who I am. Complication, broken contract. Struggle with snap. Every lie and trauma victory are in this hyphen. It's a shattered bone, separated after the soul. Four pieces back together with peace. We're learning to walk with the wind. My name and identity are mine now. I see the world pushing me back, but I'm just working harder than them. A mixed boy with a complicated past. It's good to have a story to tell, and I'm thankful for listening. I'm walking the edges of a hike, and I'm walking the edges of a hike, and we're all walking the edge of a hike. That was really information. So I grew up in Scarborough and experienced a lot of different walks of life. Literally, like as you're walking down the street, 5-10 minutes, you can see very many different types of walks of life. And this is a story about the observations that I witnessed growing up. And so I recently moved to the West End, and I don't like Scarborough because obviously it's the best place. But I came here for a second. Anyways, so this poem is called "All We Wanted Was a Little Love." Been told I ain't worth what I'm working towards, hurting more. I was told my best wasn't good enough, but how can it be when we can't afford more? You know, affordable housing is folklore. Healthcare is replacing Earth medicine. We used to reckon in USLs, BSLs. Now they buy our minds for 99 cents. Discount aisles stretch for miles, and still not enough to pay rent. It's war between the haves and have-nots. Can't even explore what's worth it or what's not. A balanced beam tipping off scale, we follow pushing your mental health to hell, ignore while it's burned, churned, and green. Guilt screams, it seems no lessons learned. Pop boom, the mind explodes, left a hole in every shell of a beam. A jumping beam with walls of steel. Cap dance in this world. They give us backpacks and empty backpacks so that we have 2 boost packs to make a quick stack. Melts full, but we ain't eating because they love elusive, and we know they're seen. We're the heathens from heaven, they pray on. We'll stay on until judgment day, because that's the only way. All we wanted was a wishing well, but this shit is a living hell. All we ever wanted was a wishing well, but this shit is a living hell. So I tell them that my no peace is never for leaves. My name is never uttered on a budget. Word to my ancestral mother. I'm never going down, marked down as a mark, a stark difference in the misconceptions. It all starts with one intention. When we listen to our hearts, our wishes listen. We have what we need without consumerism expressions. With just one mission, here's the lesson. They leave us in perpetual debt with nothing left unless we got a level head. Economic, psychological. Keep your spirits aimed on a higher pinnacle. Keep your mental aimed at a system that's got a fall. My hair raises at every fall as I feel the breeze and wind. My ancestors wait to become a road so that nothing will hold me back. My eyes will set on the prize. We don't need to catch a break. We don't need to fix our lives. Our best will be our best. This is the doubtful, we say, he's up to the rest. All we wanted was a wishing well, but this shit is a living out. All we wanted was a wishing well, but this shit is a living out. All we ever really wanted was a wishing well. Okay, cool. Last piece. This is a little bit more fun. I know, not really, I don't know. Anyway, so This is an observation that I had during the winter time one time. I know we're like dead of summer. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to take you down to the cold time. But this is what's called the danger of oversalting. We have a love affair with salt. In the winter time, it breaks out ice to prevent us from slipping. Like two lovers realizing right now is the right time. Romeo and Juliet have found slipping. I guess they didn't have the salt problem. When salt builds up on a car, it can lead to rusting, tearing down the body despite salt keeping it safe from each other. So I don't really know which one's better. We tread salt into houses, little white stains on wooden floors, hardening into crystal castles. But we need to get rid of them fast before the etches woodwork. We are obsessed with salt. And the many ways we can manipulate it, it lines our hearts until they explode. Salt has destroyed us, and we have destroyed many nations to get it. That's it. One of these wishes, that one was actually, I remember was full of, like, well, like, what's something that we don't really need? And I went to school for nutrition. And so I remember they said, oh, yeah, what's something we don't really need? I was like, I guess we don't really need salt. Like, sure, like, things are tasty with salt, but you don't really need salt. And then everyone said, like, oh, no, we need salt. We need salt. Really? And so I kind of like pulled from that when I was thinking about, well, like, how much do we need it? When it's actually like colonizing people, places, things, just obsessed with this sodium dioxide. Anyway, that's it, y'all.
Hi everyone. My name is Kiera and this is my dad, Martyn. And I'm from Kitchener and he is from a little town called Buckhorn, close to Peterborough, and we're very happy to be here in Toronto. So we're going to read a poem together and then we're each going to read one of our own poems. So this first poem is something that we co-wrote together. My dad was diagnosed with esophageal cancer in December, and through February and March, he underwent radiation and chemo in Oshawa. I was with him for most of his treatment, and when we found that the theme of this issue was acceptance, we decided to write about our difficulties accepting this diagnosis, from sort of diagnosis to treatment and beyond now. So we each wrote our own separate poems on this idea that acceptance is hard, and we took our stanzas and kind of merged them together. And you'll see in the issue, we picked it up, that stanzas are on one side of the page and one are on the other, and they kind of alternate, or pretty much do. So then we edited the poem together and try to keep our own poetic voices intact, and this is what we ended up with. So before I get going, obviously content warning that we're talking about cancer. This is not a graphic film or anything, but it does talk about some of the treatments that we went through. So if that's not something to handle, please feel free to step outside. And this poem is titled Family Affair.
It begins with discomfort, localized pain, trouble swallowing. Fortunately, I heard a good word from a CT scan. I hear this still groggy coming out of sedation. My son is holding my hand. He gives it a spoon. But I say, I have a big trip planned. Yeah, that's not.
The floor comes up to meet me. He's collapsing into soft carpet. Disbelief crashes like a wave, strangled words and heavy songs spiral from below.
The family gathers for Christmas, longer together than we've had in years. lots of hugs, tears. Will this be our last? So many unknowns, so many fears.
We make scones at Christmas and build family recipes. There's comfort in handling the fertile, sifting flour, souring the milk, cutting in the butter, recorded on video just in case. This is where the love goes in.
Treatment. A flurry of appointments and tests, radiation and medical oncologists, thoracic surgeons, species, and final maybe a 40% chance of regrets for things not done, places not seen, and people like this.
Visit hospitals in different cities. Peterborough, Oshawa, Toronto, looking for an answer. Left with a diagnosis and a plan and a green quilt to keep warm.
6 weeks of 5 days of radiation and 1 day of chemo to reduce the ravenous tumor growth.
The sun is warm. We walk 15 minutes to the hospital. Birds build nests and sing. With clouds in the sidewalk. Leftovers from huts, we wonder to ourselves.
Treatment is tiring, but also boring. The weekend is for recovery and for reassuring family and friends. A phone call with a friend who survived. I struggled with why me. I tried to be a good person, make the world a better place. And yet the randomness of the universe. We all struggle with why you, she says, you are strong, you will.
Cancer is silent, stumbling from one waiting room to the next, tracking intake and output and side effects endlessly, and never speaking its
Acceptance is hard. I wrote many years ago in memory of a very close family friend. It just so happens that today is the anniversary of his death, but he died way too young of a heart attack. So it's a bit of background. My family emigrated from Scotland to Canada in 1957. When they lived in Scotland, my dad liked to fish. He likes to be fishing, caravan, and so on. But if you know about the rivers in Scotland and England, they largely belong to the state, so working class people have very few places to go. When we came to Canada, of course, it's entirely different. My dad didn't really know where to go. And somehow, that a fellow Brit, someone that emigrated from Wales back in the 20s actually, ended up as a guide in Algonquin Park during the 30s. So Jeff, his name was, taught me how to light a fire when it was raining, how to camp, etc. He taught me a ton of stuff that I used all of my life. So this is my short poem, memory of Jeff. Old man. It's darker than the inside of a cloud, he said. And I laughed. For the time I heard it 50 times, and for all the other little things he did. Most of my shared this warm, rough and abundance.
Another poem that focuses on my dad's cancer and specifically on how I was feeling and really not feeling during this treatment. While we were in Kiera, we stayed at a holiday inn. They have a program where cancer patients can stay for free from Monday to Friday. So we stayed in the hotel during the week and then we went home on weekends to recover. And this poem is about those times during the week in that hotel room. And part of this poem was originally written to be included in the previous poem we wrote together, but it's kind of evolved since there, so there's some kind of. So it's called Haircut. Beige walls painted gray, fast in the light of a 60-watt lamp. He wakes at 3 a.m. Light flares from the bathroom, level and piercing, then quiets, does not sleep. During the day, I hold us both together. Eating schedule, routine, appointments, a CBC original, and a family project. Anything to keep us moving, keep us eating, keep us distracted. Stay positive, we are told. Hope dissipates in the face of it. Steely insides refuse to remember, and carrying on instead. And ordinariness inside of reality. It dissipates as after and fear returns to its own. In the dark, a guttural choke reverberates inside my throat. Fear eludes me, evades me. It will not come forth. Blocked by a mass growing in his body, a heart of despair growing in mine.
Hello. So my name is Juliana Brudny, and this is my first publication with Fields. I'm very honored to have been included, and I'm so grateful to Anna, Sarah, and everyone that's involved in the publication. I can't wait to settle up with it and read it so very, very late tonight. As for me, I'm an emerging Toronto writer, a middle school teacher, and a mom to two amazing tiny humans. Later this year, I will publish a picture book called I'm More Than My ADHD, written for kids and parents who are new to the topic. Look out for it in October at my catchy website, julianadidthis.com. Now, how about my story? It's based on memories of my grandmother, my great uncle, and my husband's grandmother, who all shared their stories over the greatest European social lubricant, tea. For many kids, going to camp is a yearly adventure that they look forward to or not. My parents chose to spend similar money on a plane and sent me to my grandparents' for the whole summer for many years. In that, they gave me two invaluable gifts. The first was being able to know and build a loving and open-hearted relationship with my grandparents. The second one was teaching myself to make my own fun. There weren't many kids around, so I spent a lot of time writing, drawing, and running around the forest like a hooligan. Essentially, I had a 2-month, self-guided creative writing retreat every year. Nowadays, I keep a document called Stories for My Boy and Girl. Whenever I end up telling one of my kids a really good bedtime story, I write it down. When I showed this one to my husband, he said, send it out. Then again, he always said send it out. But the Sarah listened, and here we are. Thank you to my biggest cheerleader. So without further ado, here's Babushka's Rabbit. When I was growing up, my babushka would tell me stories. They were bedtime stories, because babushka wasn't the imaginative type. She mostly told me stories while she worked. She would be preparing the cucumbers for pickling or flipping the stems off berries for jam. I would come in, grab a bowl of berries, and quietly pick the ends off with her. Then, making it sound like I'm not expecting a story at all, I'd ask her, what was it like when you were growing up? It was enough to get her going. When I was a little girl, during the war, my mom and I escaped St. Petersburg and went to stay with her family in Kazakhstan, which, as you know, was not under occupation. We were safe and fed well enough, but there wasn't much in the way of entertainment for kids. But we did have a market. Once, I was there shopping with my mother, and I saw a large rabbit for sale. I looked at the rabbit for a long time until my mother introduced me to the vegetables. The next day, I took a big jug of water and went and went back to the market. I sold mugs of water for 2 gold weeks each, mostly to the merchants who spent the whole day in the sun, until I had enough to buy them a rabbit. I brought him home inside my shirt, and he left tiny red marks from his claws on my chest. I named the rabbit Puska. He lived under my grandmother's bed. He was an angry creature, really. The only way I could get him out was to call him with a scrap of food, a carrot peel, and also beans. He would come running and stroke his soft ears for the few moments it took him to grab the treat. He always ran back out of the bed like a knight coming from battle victorious, and proceeded to diligently crunch on his pouch. My cousin Bianca lived with us too. His mother was back in St. Petersburg working as a nurse, so our grandmother took care of Bianca at this time, where there was at least some food for the growing boy. Bianca was and the rabbit knew it. When Bianca was so cautiously approaching my grandmother's bed to ask for a glass of milk, Puska made sure to poke up his velvet face and bite Bianca's bare toes. My cousin squealed and cried, and my mother would laugh and would wrap a connecting leaf around the small bit of that. One day, Puska disappeared. I looked everywhere, in the house, in the garden, even around to the neighbors. Nobody could understand a child's sorrow about a rabbit in a time when the horrors of war were. After a few days, I came up searching. Mother and I were sitting on the porch peeling mushrooms for soup, and Puska ran out of the raspberry bush and right into my arms. The girl was mad at him. His velvety nose wore fresh cut, and his left ear was ripped at the top. I kissed his sweet face as he clung to me for dear life, and my mother poured him a saucer of water and brought a fresh whole carrot. From then on, Puska followed me around the lands. I wanted to play house with neighbors' daughters, Puska went with me. When my mother and I went to the market, Puska walked us to the gate of our house and waited until we came back. At night, he often slept on our feet, though usually all the time. He spent the night under my grandmother's bed. When the war ended, I was a big girl, nearly 10 years old. Mother explained to me that we could not take Puska back to St. Petersburg because we only had one room in the apartment, and there would be any grass for him to run or leaves to eat. She said that if I loved him, I would let him stay in a big house in Kazakhstan and let my grandmother take care of him. I cried with big girl tears all the way to the train station and then some home. I don't think I cried as much for my grandmother as I did for him. He ended up having a pretty good life, and when I was 16, I got a letter from Bianca. He was visiting our grandmother with his mom. He said that Puska was alive and well, though he was old now, and didn't hear when he called her. Sometime after I left, he began to sleep at my grandmother's feet, and she would laugh and say that she had a fear in a rabbit dog. I like to think that at a time when very little joy was to be had, they brought each other so happiness. I watched the photos this time last year. The pictures at my bedside. A serious, no-nonsense woman in thickly framed glasses that she said no fashion statement, but very gentle. Every evening, when I say goodnight, I replay different memories of her life in my mind. Sometimes I see a little girl kept in World War II, wearing a young woman in a sweet skirt stealing glances at the children. Other nights, it's a busy home, a talented engineer, who building was destroyed by the war, or, my favorite, watching go to Babushka, teaching me how to do long division, make pancakes, and sell a small bag of salt. It took me a long time to accept that I can't call her and hear another story. I can't hop on the plane during the holidays and go up the stairs to her apartment. I used to just lay down and have a good cry. But now, I choose to remember the time when she snuck a hedgehog into the house and didn't tell my grandfather for an entire week. I giggle, and it's like we're still laughing together.
Hi, I'm Josh. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to Sarah and Gina for accepting me into this community. My writing's been featured in issues 8, 10, and 18. So that's pleasure, gloss and sexy, respectively. These are also my things, but my writing and feature feels is pretty rigid and span a series of stories that are inspired by and written inside of Exodus action sets. And the series is called Emperor. Feels was the first place to publish entry in the series back in 2018, so I'm really honored to be watching its money through people learning. And this first one is called Still Here With Me All the Time. I have to tell you something, but I'm not quite sure how to say it. It feels weird now. There's someone I knew, or maybe knew, so well, even though we still talk frequently, text or sometimes on the phone, we both be alive and some things haven't changed. It's not for lack of trying. Neither of us are to believe. It's just the way things are inside of our control, I guess. It's my writing this year to tell you directly. It's just that something happened today, or rather, I did something today, and it's been haunting me ever since. It would be weird to tell you in a text message of those, we'll just kind of post it here. Listen. Anyway, I used a toothbrush this morning. Well, not your toothbrush, just the toothbrush you used a few times when you stayed the night. I didn't mean to, though. It wasn't intentional. It's been so long since I've seen you. Since you've been here, I forgot who it belonged to. I grabbed it from the dish on the counter without even really looking, let alone thinking. It was early and I wasn't awake yet. There were two toothbrushes. They were identical except one was blue and one was purple. I grabbed the purple one and it felt familiar. It was only once it was in my mouth I realized the purple toothbrush was the one I told you to use when you used it. The blue one was mine. How could you forget? I was tired, okay? The purple one was yours and already had toothpaste on it. It was already in my mouth and it already had its saliva and my tongue. Just as often these days. This time not very tangible. It was already happening. To stop and acknowledge it, spit out what he gathered in my mouth and start again with my own toothbrush with no decisions. Right? So I continued. I brushed the top row and the bottom row. I scraped the plaque off from the rear of my mouth. I used the back of the toothbrush to drag it and let it put my tongue down to my stomach, which I snapped forcefully and precisely into the skin where I watched its mucus qualities drift slowly down the drain. The brush jerked in and out around my mouth. I thought about your lips and the last one. God, almost that. I couldn't even remember. I allowed the toothbrush scraping against my teeth to remind me of your tongue. At some points, eagerly inspecting every crevice the way you would after a drunken night out. Whether or not soft and delicate the way you would after it's sleeping warm. I thought about all the times we kissed. The quiet ones, the sloppy, messy ones, the reductive ones, eventual apology, the ones that started in our mouths and moved beyond the necks, nipples, bellies, crotches. As hard as sweat as I considered passing your last visit of mine, or if you might ever be here again. I continued brushing very aggressive and my gums started to bleed. The foam of the toothpaste gathered and spilled out of my mouth turned from pure white to soft condition water as it came at the base of the sink and seeped down the drain. My mouth burned from the sharp green aftertaste mixed with the stinging metallic flavor of blood. I clutched the toothbrush in my hand, able to listen my grip on its handle. My other hand steadied itself on the rim of the sink. I looked at myself in the mirror, noticing that some of the pinkish foam trapped in the hairs of the food. I raised my bottom lip to cover the hairs and used the guide to press me back into my mouth. Swallowing all I had left to do at once. I washed the toothbrush under some cold water, bringing the head back to its original pickle shape. I put the toothbrush back down where I found it, and returned it back on the counter. Where we remained as nothing more than a thought in my brain. A text message, an old photo, the memory of a companion once filled the physical and mental space in my life, now relegated to an intangible existence. During a moment in the following to our monogamous communication in my own thought. I left the toothbrush there in the digital next to me, available for retrieval when I need to do, but always sitting there statically otherwise. For now, that's my door and that's my life. You don't know me. You don't know that I follow you on Instagram. There are about 10,000 of us, so I doubt you've ever noticed me. Maybe you do know me because I like every single picture you post. It's not like I do that so don't ask me though. I don't just desperately double tap hard every time you post something, I promise. I really do like your posts. I feel so privileged being able to glance into your life. So honored that you let me do that. I think you're really special. When I logged on tonight, you were broadcasting a live video. I thought that was strange because you never supported the type of person who would do that. You've never done that before anyway. Sometimes you post short videos of yourself, but that's what they did all the times. It's not like you're insecure, quite the opposite, really. That's my impression anyway. To me, you come across as so confident and sure of yourself, so grounded. Usually these guys that go live are the guys who are constantly seeking attention. That's just my opinion. I watched one last night. He was the speaker from the UK. He's really attractive. I don't lie to you about that. He's married too. Are you married? You have a boyfriend? I've been assuming you're single. I hope you're single. You're in an open relationship with most of the other gay couples I've seen online. They'll be fine too. Not ideal, but fine. Anyway, this guy was on the you guys will mention. He's in a position above us, crouched. Still, I watched for about an hour, and by then he was trying to prepare for job strips. Eventually, he just started drinking up for all of us to see. All markets. All those guys, myself included, watching it like that. It was strange. There were so many comments to keep up with. They're all complimentary posts. I assume that's why he did it. The attention must be nice. Well, I watched that weren't where his husband was, or if his husband even knew what he was doing. Maybe he just didn't care. You don't seem like the type of guy that you're probably going to watch when I cross the globe. Obviously, though, I had to at least check to see what you were broadcasting. The screen turned black after I took it off. Well, there was something wrong with my connection, but the comments are small. The screen was green. I didn't send on any breathing. I first instinct assumed that you were either being fucked or fucking someone. You're above or top, by the way. I would obscure the screen so we don't hear the action and not see it. That would have been fun. There were about 100 guys watching when I joined the feed, and as I wrote the comments, the scenario became more clear. You were sleeping. So roll bring your phone back to it. Now 100 guys are watching you sleep. Where was that? I wasn't sure on your privacy. I won't lie to you though, I didn't close the feed. The other viewers can speculate about what happened and what you were doing. Those guys. I wish I knew that well. The longer I watched, the more hypnotic it became. The comments started to take over. Totally tuned into the sound of your snoring and the rising cuts. I started to imagine I was lying next to you. I wondered what it would feel like to be in your arms, to hear the sound of your snoring directly in my ear, to your chest against my back. I was overlooked by this fantasy. I heard what I did for speed on this three. I plugged my headphones in and turned off all once. Now we're both in the darkness together. I got into bed and laid my phone next to me delicately. I dropped a pillow behind me and curled up against it. It wasn't long before I fell asleep as I tried to even imagine you were there beside me. I know you aren't going to see this, but I just want to say thank you. I know you didn't mean to stream that. I know I shouldn't have kept watching, but I haven't slept in a couple years. Thank you. If you do see this, we can get to know each other. I think you're really special. Ever since we shared that moment, I feel like you'll get excitement every time you post something. Like you're talking directly to me. I think you'd be great. I don't know where you live in the world. You may have posted from a distant place. Hopefully you're nearby. You could meet. I really think you could meet. I really hope you see this. I really hope you message me. If you do, tell me what your name is on Instagram so I know it's you. I'll be waiting.
Okay. Is this okay? Yeah. My name is Furqan. I'm very happy to be here.
here. I was reflecting on Hannah and Sarah talking about, excuse me, I'm getting emotional. Yeah. So we were talking about how long, like, teaching goes the kind of help, like, get around, you know. And we thought about the times that I actually did contribute. I think the first time I did, I was in high school. And then for this issue, I was alongside Jocelyn as well. I was in university, and now being here for I'm going to start my master's to be like a kindergarten teacher. So, I'm going to ask Juliana for some advice on how to do it. I have a few things to share with you tonight. One of them is poem from this issue, but I'll start with an essay. I'll just hold my phone behind it. So I think that just looks better. So the first essay doesn't have a title. Consider for something. Like on the editorial board, and she liked it. But she was like, I need some. She's like, something's missing. I have to figure it out what's missing. So hopefully every time you read it, you'll figure out. Because even a river can be lonely. Even a river can die of thirst. I am both. The river and its vessel. The melody whose water is the body and whose the love fall. One of my earliest memories is of a simple, striking brick hallway. The hallway belonged to a stocky in Regent Park that housed many different class families. I don't know why I can remember the blue because the people in the building are far more observing of the space in my mind than the building itself. The women who acted as babysitters, sous chefs, the occasional marriage counselors. Are we okay? You're good. And the young couple who were my mother and father, the men who were plumbers and security guards, IT support and Uber before work. But I was not yet 16 enough to live in the that I can remember from hallway out. The building was vacated from days like mine to very expensive housing. They said grew up in now purposely no longer exist. But perhaps me remembering the little hallway in my tiny attic. On walks home up the stairs to the hallway, I scraped my fingertips against the blue concrete, speckled the perfect sensory adventure for little hands that didn't yet understand the beautiful concept of journey. I was a photographer with land and people. The lines on the wall moved in perfect sequences, the families from Somalia moved and shifted, stopped, smoothed, up and down, away from each other. And again, in one swim to another. I grew up and played in an apartment in a building we started with stolen land, filled to the brim with people from other stolen land. Many of them that could spike at any moment, forced to flee, could never indeed my mother convinced me that it was. A cramped, carpeted, two-bedroom nautical gem that I discovered that she would let me joy out of anything. As long as you returned from the family was the only rule, she would shout over her shoulder. Still, but pressed between her pots, pans, rolling pins, the laundry basket, her pillows. Imagination ran rampant, and scarves contained thermos, and packets, helmets, empty bottles of olive oil. The brown couch in the living room was my dinner, and the carpet was my kitchen. I was an explorer. None of the worries from outside her own anxieties brought on by displacement. But somehow in the backseat while she worked on creating space for me to feel like I belonged. I imagined her alone in the absolute messes in the apartment, her way to try to secure the one thing in this world for a short time. It was her way of combating the emptiness that was for displacement, and emptiness she would feel for the second time in her life. Causes fear that stops you from enjoying things. It was her way of saying, "Here, this is yours. Throw things around, spill juice, mess it up, and it will still be yours afterwards. Still be home, and it will be back." Still, I returned everything that I was using when done. I folded her scarves neatly and placed pots and pans back into the cupboard as delicately as my own fingers would let me. Cushions would fit back into their puzzle piece perfect sections on the top, and I never ruined it for anyone in my ocean. I was gentle. My habit of being incredibly firm and careful with things must have come from the fact that I learned how quickly they could not be mine anymore. I prepared for displacement at a very young age, well-behaved child. I used to be kind to objects, to people, to apartment buildings, because someone else would need them or take them by force. Nothing has ever really belonged to me. Not my brothers as they're now my sisters. Not my father as he belonged to my grandparents and his sisters. Eventually, the apartment became not mine, too. I would later learn that the suitcase, the one thing that I was never really allowed to play with, contained everything that my mother helped me with my haircut. The shower from her hands was a solid cold bath style that did not reflect anything, yet managed to catch shades and colors in their frames, creating paintings out in the out. My green camp t-shirt, her blue that completed with the water that ran from the sink for my attention as we eventually both locked eyes in the mirror. Drip. You look so much like me. Drip. I know. Drip. I hope God does not exist for this leaky faucet. Not with what is happening back home. What a waste of water. Drip. I like your dressing room. Drip. It's yours, Claire, and I should call your dad to fix this. Drip. Is he really my dad? Drip. Hush. I need the call. As the Coleman on my head, no question stumbled out of it. The suitcase she explained contained social insurance cards, passports, birth certificates, everything one would need if one needed to leave in Mountain Florida. I remember her speaking slowly, carefully choosing her words. But I understood. Some of us are oceans, and others are rivers. But borders can be like leaky faucets, I suppose. That makes the rest of us the drops stuck inside the pipe, right in the drip. Poems, the next few poems I should say are very short. This one is from this issue of Fields. It's titled Ghosts of Unfamiliarity. My obsession with keeping things started with loss. My obsession with proof must have started with the tales from my elders. War is theft, well-timed arson. You burn photographs along with spaces, you burn memories, you burn history, you burn stories as dark as the coffee you stir anecdotes into, and as vital as the blood in your veins. But these next two poems are a little bit funnier, a little bit on the lighter side. I never used to think that I had a full name. I guess because I was surrounded by other people who had fun with difficult names. But the expression that I've heard, and I'm sure other people know, is when people are very apologetic about your name, I'm going to butcher. And I love that expression, only because like I know butchers and they're really cool. I don't know why people use that analogy. It doesn't make any sense. If you eat kosher, you know what I'm talking about. But on a very personal reason, you're butchering, you know? And I just wrote this poem after hearing that it was marked many times. You say you are going to butcher it. The vowels, the parts in the sum of this whole one name are delicate cuts. I ask that you stretch my range, please. The A sound is meant to be generous, and yet you couldn't. Sure, with your amateur kitchen knife. Sure, you are no butcher. My butcher has kind eyes, a beard, large amounts of veal, a genius with a scale. He knows heaviness, where to place it on. You are no butcher. This is my last one. I'm very apropos. I'm all out of poems. I gave them away, one to the mailman, one to the lady who yelled lashes as we walked past each other down the street, one to the only other hijabi on the platform of the short train, and I'm Siberian for the kids in my writing workshop who don't believe me when I say that they are literally allowed to write about anything. A poem for the man who followed me as I got off the subway to work. A haiku that started with, please don't kill me, I can't be late for this job. One to the nice man in my business studies class. It was long with many words, but I didn't think them. One to my father, a dozen of the places I plan to be at tonight. One for my mother, a found poem with all the advice she gave me and I can now return. One to my best friend, I gave her the music. I'm all out of poems.
Lefty Lucy, Lefty Lucy. Hello. I'm so happy here. Thank you. This is so beautiful. Thank you to my fellow writers. I'm so moved. I cannot wait to be moved even more. Thank you to Hannah and Sarah. Ilzine was the first poem for my writing, and that means more than anything I could write. I'm now telling my opposite to hear the pulse upstairs as a collective heartbeat. I'd like to give a content warning about the piece I'm going to read. So it's about one of my several psych ward experiences. This was published a few months ago. In it, I do mention it includes sort of my experiences of psychosis, depression, a lot of thoughts about the concept of death, and at one point I do mention the first responders, which includes the mentioning of police, but there is no police violence in this piece. And on that note, I'm also very grateful that I was able to be here in the first place. Because hello, I'm back in an admission, and I got a pass to come here. Very concerned about that. And right now, I'm inhabiting what feels like one of the worst versions of myself, or at least one of the lowest. I'm kind of looking at myself as a bottom feeder in the abyssal plane, and it's a hard thing to accept. But I love that I can have this moment and feel like one of my favorite selves. I'm so happy to be here. I'm not satisfied with feeling like I will play with it until it satisfies me. Anyway, this piece is called I Accept the Terms and Conditions. Somewhen along January, the ebb of psychosis pulls me in the undertow of another depression. I find myself losing my chronic greed for more time, more life. These days, I marvel at nothing. The sun is a tide-resistant stain in the sky. The sky is just an atmospheric situation, scattering blue light all day, turning black at night. Night rarely gives me the reprieve from life that we call sleep. I wonder whether I finally accepted the fact of death, but I don't think I can use acceptance and indifference interchangeably. And the word wonder doesn't work either. There is no wonder when there is no marveling. At some point at this point, I wake up hosting a belated Halloween party I never threw. A dozen guests come dressed as firefighters, paramedics, police officers. There are guns in my apartment. I should probably be more alarmed, but I am reacting horridly. Used to it is a powerful anesthetic. Just another manic depressive Monday. The men in cumbersome squishy suits accessorized with semi-automatic pistols ask me if I'll go to the hospital voluntarily. Patronizing illusion of volition. I say no, knowing that accept is the only clippable option. Cops can take someone into custody for psychiatric evaluation with or without that someone's consent. The firemen carry my backpack and rush back buggy down the stairs. The police escort me out of my apartment. The paramedics strap me to a gurney in the back of an ambulance, buckling my things into immobile submission. I'm reading Finnegan's Wake in the psych ward, understanding precious little of the plot, feeling enormously unintelligent. Reading is the wrong word. I am looking at letters on a page. It's not Finnegan's fault. Nothing matters enough to hold me. I press keys on the piano without playing music. Hammers strike the string. Sound waves all through the air in the common room. The attempt to draw smudges my sketchbook with graphite, and my dead writing isn't worth writing about. I call someone I love and hate myself for wanting to hang up when she answers. Another patient and I are playing chess in the lounge. Neither of us want to be doing this, but we both accept the unspoken contract that binds us in agreement to use the other's presence as another tool to kill time. Killing time. The idiomatic phrase normally strikes me as idiotic. Time is both our lease on life and our non-refundable ticket to the grave. Every microsecond, microscopically accelerating cell death until we notice a new wrinkle, feel a new ache in the joints we now massage with Voltaren for the placebo effect. Life may be the longest thing we'll ever live, but life is short, and that phrase is justifiably cliche. Why do we waste so much time trying to kill time when time kills us? Because we're waiting at the bus stop, waiting in line at the grocery store. When did waiting anesthetize us to the cosmic, evolutionary, generational, circumstantial precision of our being here at all? But hey, the bus is late, and Candy Crush isn't going to play itself. Staring at the chessboard with soon-to-be-lost plastic pieces, All I want to do is kill time until it kills me. To stab the beating heart of the overhead clock that won't stop ticking behind the plastic barrier bolted to the wall. I wonder how many psych patients have tried to tamper with the clock enough to warrant its cage. I plunder my bishop. He sacks his rook. We both lose our queens. Checkmate. Good game. Yeah, good game. Again? Might as well. We play another 2 games. Both of us keep checking the clock to speed up the arrival of probably something porridge bland and too tough to cut with a plastic spoon and fork, but chewing will be something to do. Anhedonia. I want to be anywhere other than wherever I am. The attempt to write. The continual capitulation of fuck it. I get up to pee when I don't have to because peeing is an event. Anything to get out of the writing. Scratched out sentences. I welcome the evenings because evenings mean night meds and night meds thicken the broom in my brain. At 7:45, I am outside the nursing station waiting for 8 o'clock where the nurses can dispense medication. Awake and aware is the last thing I want to be. I remember wanting forever, but forget the feeling. I don't want anything anymore, and time won't stop unending. For once, I do not care about dying. I seek solace in my indifference to my finitude and wonder without wonder whether I finally accepted death. And at the end, you die. I accept the terms and conditions. And you'll be dead forever. Okay? As in, forever. No more anything. And no thinking, writing, talking about death after dying. Are you sure you wish to accept? Sure. Sure, as in, whatever. The inner dialogue makes me miss the expired euphoria of my manias, the epiphanic everything. I want to want again. Lacking lack only exponentiates the emptiness along an existential curve leading nowhere. The wheat and chessboard problem. I am poisoned with porridge. New line. Full stop. Interrobang. Something happens. Call it a neurochemical shift. Call it divine salvation. Something resurrects my want for more than life can give, reviving my revolt against death. January 30th, 2023. This weekend came the reprieve of the return of myself. I started creating again, connecting with others again. A sudden wash of gratitude, an urgent current pulling me in the undertow towards life, and more. I saw a misspelled undertow in my journal. Having once imagined the ocean lassoing my big toe to drag me away from the shore, I often misspelled the word undertow with a T-O-E, left its burning footprint in my memory. And I like letting myself make that mistake. I'm reading Finnegan's Wake again, lapping up the language, understanding nothing other than my love of words. Plot is not the point. Enchantment is. The sentences pour into me as my mind pours over the pages. An alchemy, an elixir. Voices cast off spelling casts its spell on me. I remain transfixed, fascinated, fastened, fixed to the moment. Fascination finds me beyond the page and everywhere again because everything holds me now.
Creation returns, forgetting how it could have forgotten itself. My writing river runs, music shapes the air when I play the piano, and when I draw from a bottomless well of everything. When I speak with people, I wish for a lifetime of conversations. Evenings carve into my familiar sundown despair. I want more time, and the clock spins its hands with unforgiving speed, and nothing is ever enough anymore again. Midnight is the cutoff time for nightmares, and that is when my nurse finds me hiding in my room for a few more lucid moments before I begrudgingly accept my trazodone Zarcoon coffee out of consciousness concoction. As excruciating as it is to want as much as I do, I want my want. The only depth deeper than my fear of death is indifference to life. I want an infinity of murders. And if that means I'll die rejecting death to the grave, I can live with that. I accept Cheng's condition.
Hello. Hi. My name is Wandy Cheng. I am an illustrator from Hong Kong, currently based in Scarborough. I wrote this piece earlier this year, initially for a newsletter. And I'm very excited about it being published in the fiction scene, so if you're this year, I have it. I tend to speak very fast, and I'm nervous. I can hear my heart right now, and I'm really nervous. So I would love if you can give me a little open palm for me to slow down during my reading. That would be very helpful. This piece is titled Elsewhere Here. Enjoy. So is that the I'm gonna take the job. There was a podcast episode of This American Life about immigrants hyper-fixating on their accent. It was recorded in the style of a show, where the subject seemed to be able to tell when someone immigrated to America based on what they did. In particular, how much they over-enunciate. Because the more fluently they could pronounce certain words and write out opinions, the younger they must have been when they arrived. It was a particular segment that stuck out to me. It got me thinking about how much I fixate on the way I speak English and how long I've been fixating on it for. There are some days when the words flow out of me effortlessly, my thoughts and my speech patterns following one another sequentially. I'm thinking and articulating all the words and pronouncing them perfectly. But more often than not, I trip over the spaces between my words, slurring the syllables and twisting the characters before the sentences and just enough to obscure my attention, demanding repetition. There are some words I'm more confident in pronouncing, usually words with multiple syllables and hard edges. Satisfaction, perfection, dictation. T sounds are encouraging and friendly. They welcome my tone with a hard pat on the back when I approach them nervously. In the class of 26, the R skills are definitely from here. Sneaky ones poking you in the back, only for you to lose sight of them. We're sure you would catch them. Roll, regular. U and L sounds don't usually play obvious traps for you. They're the masterminds behind chaos. Plotting the snicker as you ponder the place within the word structures. Success, public, restaurant. And when they show up all together, like Utilitarian? Forget it. Forget it. It's not because I don't know how to pronounce and separate the syllables, position my tongue, and mimic the sounds with my mouth. It's the way my other jokes out as I do. My accent. The strongest indicator of me not being from here. What is a shame related to me not being originally from the place I currently reside in? That I don't have tango roots on the land ours to settle on? That my parents didn't make their immigrating decision 20 years earlier? That the sense of loss for an alternative reality is greater than the current one I'm living through? Whatever the reason, I feel this laugh on my face from others' expressions as I try to fit a new language in. This expression of laughter as I read unfamiliar words in class. The blurring of brows as I try to clarify an assignment. The patronizing repetition as I assume the pronunciation. Over time, I self-reject before others are able to avoid the hurt and shame I feel deep in my chest. Mostly my throat. Mostly a lump that feels like an itch that cannot be scratched. A lump that makes me want to bury all the thoughts rushing through my head while I shrivel in embarrassment with my eyes shut. You got this. Woo! I do sound different. Even when I'm trying really, really hard not to. Chang says in the podcast. I too spent a long time and energy making sure my English is as colloquially understandable as the one that belongs here. Worthy of respect. However, I don't particularly feel a sigh of relief when someone comments on my accent being undetectable. Like I'm from here. It feels like a part of me from the past, the heavily accented immigrant, is in some way erased. Though disagreeing feels like I'm actively denying the hard work I've put into crafting a palatable perspective. It's conflicting to feel the tone, especially because I know I sound different. I've been noticing more Cantonese being spoken around me when I commute. Names of familiar Hong Kong places and slang women. I remind myself not to stare and put away that impulse to interrupt with a shared identity. The simple thing from a place into your identity? Or is an identity what you take from a place? Is the taking ever justified if you don't consciously give back? Maybe how I sound ultimately doesn't matter as long as it is a current and honest representation of myself. Maybe the hyperfixation of an accent was born from the hyperfixation of self and reality. And self in a space that feels increasingly narrowly. However many tries it takes, and as cringy as I feel as I read these words, I vow to dictate the fear to do it all, even if
Hi. I'm running on computer nerds here, so I'm probably going to take a second to get through those. Bear with me. My name's Efehan, and I'm actually the last performer tonight. I'm an artist. I love everything. I'm an award-winning director. I'm an animator. I also create games. All of those are I also create games, both in my own mini studio, done, and also at the Royal Ontario Museum. If you want to come to me on screen, I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a spoken word artist. I come here for they, them, and sometimes he, because language is I often forget. You can also use F, which I kind of like, is the first part of my name, it's just like everything else. I am recently non-binary, recently as in once on my partner's birthday party, any of those. A nice girl reached out to me, I took his hand. That's a very confused young name. Here, when I was this day, how it feels to be a 13-year-old girl at the same age, and a little bit of trigger warning for more of the first call from places. But when I was 14, walking to high school, other ages, recently, as in having it requires passing my school, I suspect, I think it was, I'm sure I was going some rule on this one. I want to say thank you to Ian and Sam for having me. I'm just obviously so honored to be here, and thank you for everyone for having us share such amazing stories that I can reach this today. I have written a lot of poetry, and I've sort of noticed a bit of eras in my writing. I've traveled through the long preaching to short and to more recent, and I now move to a new phase, but maybe some of that is well. I've really collected a bit longer, a bit shorter, too much time. I think we should be our whole lives accepting many different things or not getting there. Often things are our lives. So it's called ribbon. Given such a gift as this skin that holds and contains the gathered bumps, clumps, and bumps to make you whole, to make you soft and vulnerable, too hot, too cold, to give life a chance while in your walking bag of the finest parts is absolute peak of the organic arts, perfect in all ways. It's not to make us run from each other without ribbon. Nothing that can contribute to the president is realizing if you are 185 outside the climate, it's called hazy air. The words don't heal, not in themselves resolving to some completion that feel. They don't stand up and start knitting you back. They don't pull your weary arms to bed to lie down for another fire tomorrow. They don't whisper. They will be all right. Fire as it sweeps through you, but through an entire world, to just literal actual towns and villages and countryside burning. What did we do? Top tier professional money, making millionaires and billionaires keep on earning. What did you do? What was it that? What was art? I looked over to you, taking your hand to my lap and feeling the tears through your heart and its wares and its careers and its wilds and its fires. Smokiness, unbridled desires, or just caution of days, slow creeping need of worrying what happened to them. Then you know who I mean. What the hell happened to bees? Leading to bees, you live on the trees, and I watch, I hear, I smell it, my eyes watering, we can tell this, my mind hazy with things, transfer and drifting through years of airways, drifting through thousands of people's days. They are so busy doing their part. They're just trying out all kinds of trying not to be the start of another new spark, another bright flame, another image, someone's very life gains, all that they owned in this world. Another and the words don't. No, they pick up along the edges and fold themselves in, and then 2 times down across them, in only before outcomes of that. Then and curling, interlocking together, corner to scroll, dangling, G to hook it, P, edge now to edge, last mark to flow. Just waiting for your head. There's no time, no time that it will not arrive more fully, not knowing when the quiet will come, if it will come at all. This next piece is called Peace. A little piece of a little piece, between the descending clock stuck and shut, it's locked and not in like a gentle call at all, just an hour with a number, so little still to be crisp and deep or damp and brittle, just a little. Summer hill, dark still and between night and that dumb stars breathing out of song. Shelves, and thumbing through the sheets therein, they are archives of the stunning stories and infinite fucking lies of desperate species constructing and destructing with bands bound so permanently around blood ties and disturbingly bloody designs through the worlds they built within each other. On the bodies of those seeking ones, each life on a desk in a room that looks organized and nice, but is actually a carefully sold story of squeezed, juiced, and used to water their room from beautiful blue, thunder and guns and storms, and none of the promises kept to anyone except Grand Archivist's job of a novel. Below runs this section. He kept it all organized, even when the fires burned out over the detritus-filled remains of our risen oceans left, and through the room, soft artificial light through the window on the left and on the right, a single king-sized bed in the center of the drawers. A jaw was back over again and again. We are not alive. We did not survive. But still our story resounding in glory, and more honestly, just pretty boring in those files. Learning. I'll just do a little ad lib in a moment here. I see so many my nerves are falling. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you. But my favorite space of all is pride. Suffused, I think, and surrounded by the exact emotion I've lived the whole life inside of, and I think I'll probably towards more recently. How many of you feel a bit lazy or cross-eyed? I probably know what I'm talking about in the second moment, but I do, and actually when I get tired, my body stops trying to connect to just the other slips. And I was really fascinating about the human mind, the mind myself can actually manage two images of local different content over each other, and you actually see both perfectly clearly and step sort of appear. And I think that two things can occupy the same space in perfect synchrony. I think sometimes for me it's four or more of us. I think that, to be honest, there's probably exactly as many things that can occupy the same space as there are people in this space. This is my last poem. Thank you everyone. Thank you, and Sarah, so very much. Pick up the issue generously as much as you can. This is for your journey and also my deepest loves, some of which are right here, and also my heart. So let's hold that. I'm already crying. Don't look, they would say. No, so you can look, you can. I can't imagine look and your body in sun, sand. Today, trucking, sexy walking, flexing, hopping, drumming, soul humming, breaking signs felt by bright minds in such ways to find. Alive and reminded, told to be less than you found yourself, told to be the smallest thing. You know, well, no fucking deal. I am gifted and ensconced in a glow so bright it spills in rainbow onto the very fabrics, surround, splashes across elastics and hats, bras and skin and socks, swell of clouds, no empties here, no shells. Brings you to this, lost in your own magic spells, and I was once that bystander, that one right over there. Eyes wide or hard covered, that 20-something walking by, tense eyes flitting off and sitting, so deeply unwitting in the simple duality of him. But now I am me, once again. So many of us were then, but now we are us once again. He walks away now past the couple with curious eyes behind the man without a stitch on his skin except a fanny to carry them within behind a line of shining, gleaming, glowing, learning teens, drifting, 50s, and cute, flirty 30s, laughing and returning, and met shirties and old burlies and shining trans girlies and topless swirlies and watergun gothies and thrilled looking newbies and our older and of course our drag queen beauties. And some uncertain blue lookies, but my loves do surround me, my family celebrating and whirling, and all in the warmth of the dark. And to my right, there is this tiny baby, and this baby is dancing. I stand at my feet and imitates so perfectly, moving to sounds, shielded in his mother's care, but also here in open air, to revel and surround and love. His eyes are wide, such to be in that face. Was I like that? For how long, I wonder, before stutter and shout and categorical divides? I did not want to cry. An entire neighborhood literally dancing for just a special dream-like while. And as I do spin, I catch an eye and saw a small smile. I don't know her. We all know each other, I think. Here in the twilight of 36, as my sweet stitch friend with his arm around my shoulder, he is telling me precisely how hard he will kick anybody's ass who does not respect him, who does not accept him. I'm full grin and at a loss for words. I live between, I am within. I dance, and near as I am to you, I move a little closer to myself in the warm heat of pride.
All of our lovely storytellers to join us up here real quick. If you hadn't just Yeah, we're doing this right now. Thanks, everybody. Don't mind us. Like we like each other. Yeah, I'll put the front down. You sit. You guys? With it? You're all so beautiful.
Can we get one more big round of applause for everybody?
So for those who have been here before, you've heard probably a lot of this, but we're never stopping. First of all, thank you to Society Clubhouse for hosting us tonight. To the Feed Press, who is in the room, that has printed many beautiful issues for us. All of our wonderful storytellers tonight, as well as everybody who contributed their work to this issue, art and writing. We just put it together. It really does come down to it. And on a personal note, since back in my hometown, there are people in this room who are there when we launched issue 1. And we have somehow made it to 20 issues, which is pretty wild. I don't think when we were leaving art book there, I was like, hey, we could make a zine that we anticipated anything like this happening. So I just wanted to say so much for everybody about our contributors and the folks that participate in the launches, but it's also about everybody who shows up and supports us and further as much about building a community of people that are a part of this sharing feeling world as we are about making it happen. So thank you for being here.
I won't say much more. Thank you so much for sitting in this space with us tonight. It is cooler outside, so feel free to take a step outside. We have our issue for sale. Lovely Hannah over there at the merch table can help you with that. We have some back issues. We've got some pins. Feel free to take a button on your way out. We just made some new shirts, so if you like shirts, they're over there. Like that. I want to give a big thank you to Mitchell Keys, who illustrated this cover, who is in the room today. So it's beautiful. And you made very, very easy. Thank you to the bartenders tonight. Thank you for the space. Tip as you can, as you need to, as you would love to. What else? Community. Thank you to our community. Sarah already said that. It's just lovely being in person with you all tonight. It's been so long, and the computer's so thank you. If you ever want to submit something to us, we are open. We are here. feelzine.com. Our next issue is on sadness, but hopefully it'll be a little bit happy. I don't know what's good. We'll see what we get. It's open for the month of August. Yeah, feel free to hang out. We're in this space for a little longer. Have a lovely night. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you. I like this.